Hello, what is up? What's good? Welcome in to the OnlyBets Sports Podcast Thursday edition alongside DrewDelucchi. SternBets, I am the one and only Prince of Picks. Happy Thursday, everyone. We are getting ready to get into these excellent slates of sports again taking place. We got our core four, as usual, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, and of course, soccer on the pitch over in Europe. So we'll be sure to give our best bets, looks, and angles for all four of those sports. And then we'll see if we can cover anything else here at the end of the show. Before we do that, head on over to Apple Podcasts if you can, please. Spotify, wherever it is that you listen to us, give us a real quick rate, review, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. Really does wonders and helps us out a lot in growing this channel and getting us out to more potential listeners. Let me go ahead and pass it over to my co-host, Mr. SternBets, Mr. Mosh. Good morning. Happy Thursday, bro. How's it going?
Happy Thursday. A little bit sad that two games got rained out yesterday. I was really looking forward to seeing Sanchez versus Webb, but we get two doubleheaders today. So lots of day baseball to look forward to. I'm really excited to dive into it. Anyway, bringing Drew also. How are you today and how was your day yesterday?
Yeah, for sure. Yesterday I went 0-2. Unfortunately, that kind of stuff happens. I was watching the Yankees game, and honestly, I'm just gonna shout out Nathan Eovaldi. I was very surprised with like how well he pitched. Not so how well he pitched. He generally does pitch decently well, but I expected the Yankees to kind of knock him around. It seemed like the Yankees, for some reason, weren't really seeing his fastball really well, the break on his pitches, and it was very uncharacteristic bats for Yankees that we're used to. And then when it came to Michael Walker, he was doing well. He went 5 innings, but then he eventually didn't have a great necessarily fifth inning. Uh, but I guess yeah, overall I was expecting Trent Grisham to hit that home run because I said, but Yankees lost 3-0. But the rookie that the Yankees had looked pretty promising. He just needs to work on his control. Even they just need to work on not necessarily his control, but his nerves, because he was known for his control in the minors, and he just needs to realize he doesn't have to talk. I talked to my buddies who's a Yankees fan. Doesn't have you don't have to strike everyone out. Trust your fielding, trust your stuff. Because what I always say is, because you're trying to strike everyone out doesn't mean you trust your stuff. I feel like you don't trust your stuff if you're trying to strike everyone out because you're not trusting them to whiff on it. So hey, there was a quote from Bubba Chandler that he said the other day, who was a young pitcher as well. He said who he gives up a lot of walks and he's struggling with that, but he did say the other day that I'd rather give up a home run than a walk. So I like that maturity in that aspect. So these young guns, don't stress out, trust your fielders, trust your stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure true. Right read on the pitcher, just wrong outcome. So something hopefully that we can do tomorrow or today better. Also, right read, wrong outcome. Detroit Tigers. My gosh, that was a brutal loss. 2-run home run to win it by Matt Olson in the bottom of the ninth. That really stung. Although I guess we did split the ticket because I had the Tigers first 7 money line, and then I also had played the first 5 parlayed with the full game. So we get in and get out with half of that. In terms of the other bets of the day, Canadians, Lightnings, that I had the right read. Should have just bet the Canadians first period money line. They won 1-0 in the first period. The Flyers plus 1.5, Golden Knights plus 1. I believe that cashed. Sorry, I didn't really check. I was so focused on the Flyers game, which, by the way, I'm so excited to talk about. That was one of the best games of hockey I have ever seen. Mariners get it done. Mariners money line comes through. Like I said, Tigers, the full unit kind of split between the first 5 in the full game and the first 7. Dodgers didn't come through. All my half unit plays didn't come through. Yankees money line didn't come through. So looking for a little bit of a bounce back today, but it's Paul Skeen's day today, so I'm excited to get into it. Prince, how did you do yesterday?
Yeah, we went. I went 3-1 for the official show plays yesterday, and that's going to be including our baseball parlay, which unfortunately the Orioles, Astros, I think that one got rained out. But we had that as part of a parlay. The other piece was Rockies team total over 2.5, which that hit. So I'll take it as a win. We still won. Just the other leg got voided. So we hit that one. We hit the our hockey parlay, Lightning team total over 1.5. They did score 2 goals. the Golden Knights. We had them on +1.5. They ended up winning outright in overtime, I believe. And then the Penguins Flyers, as you mentioned, we had that under 7.5. We could have had that at under 1.5, and we still would have hit. What an incredible game that ended up being. It was a 0-0 score. Went into overtime. I had to double check and make sure I was looking at hockey scores and not like some regional lower league soccer game or something. I mean, I was shocked to see that it was 0-0 all the way through three periods. But in any case, went 3-1. And then, of course, I also hit a couple live plays over on Driving the Line over there in the live chat. So, again, you guys can catch that show Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, over on YouTube. Alan Bell does a great job over there. So, but yeah, hit a bunch of plays yesterday. And, of course, I always give out live plays on X and VIP channel, and we hit those as well. So, pretty good day for me yesterday.
Yeah, I'm actually looking back. So yeah, Flyers and Golden Knights, we both had them in our parlays and they cashed. So 3-3 plus a full unit play on the right side of things. So actually not terrible of a day, but still want to do better. All right, let's dive into day baseball today. Drew, I'm going to give it to you first. Can't wait to get started. We have a game going off in 20 minutes, but where are we going today?
Yeah, I was going to do something in the possibly the Tigers game. I was going to do something with Framber, but you know what? I want to watch that game because I don't like touching a pitcher. I don't want to touch any kind of pitcher props for those two games because for all I know, the Tigers offense or Braves offense can go cold or hit the ball quicker and not have play pace, or they can literally score 6 runs on Framber or 6 on Bryce Elder. So let's go to one of my favorite games that I'm looking forward to watch: the Rockies at Reds. We have we have Lorenzen, my fellow Italian, at Andrew Abbott's Reds. The weather isn't bad there. It's like 54 degrees with I think it's around 60 to 70% humidity, 8 miles per wind, blowing to center field. It's already a favorable ballpark. I don't think there's necessarily a chance of rain, luckily, but I'm going with Andrew Abbott. His under and outs, and I think this is kind of a steal for how he's been pitching. His under 70 outs is -110, and I think Vegas is still adjusting to the fact that the Rockies are the Rockies, but the Rockies have done really well against starting pitching recently. As you saw yesterday, they kind of knocked up Brandon Williamson yesterday, and he got out early. So I guess they're thinking that, hey, they may need Abbott to at least go 6 because of the bullpen. But I don't think that's really the case. Abbott is still a young pitcher. He's 26 years old. I think hopefully eventually go back to his form, but it's hard to think he will based off his underlying metrics. One of his biggest issues is his best pitch, his four seam, isn't getting enough whiff. In 2025, he had a 19% whiff rate on that pitch. Now it's only 8%, which you never want to see. His changeup, though, has 49% whiff rate, and sweeper and curve have around a 25 to 27% whiff rate. So a changeup being 49% whiff rate is literally like Scooble tier. But when people do hit it, they hit a 346 batting average against it as well. His hard hit contact percentage isn't bad, but one of his biggest issues, it hasn't necessarily just been luck. It's just he hasn't been really striking people out as much as he should. I believe he has like a 14% strikeout rate, which isn't necessarily good. People are making contact on his pitches. If his last 5 starts, he has not covered this. He has not finished 6 innings. His only start he has was his first start of the year. If you just look at his game log, there's a lot of numbers there. Which if you see numbers in every category, you see 8 hits, 5 earned runs in every category in almost every game where he's given up a lot more walks too than he usually does. I think last year only had he barely had a 4% or something like that walk rate. Now he has a higher one. And lastly, the Rockies are doing something to him that it may not be the best benefit for him. They're stacking the whole lineup with righties. This is how the Rockies lineup goes: righty, 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 switch hitter, lefty, righty, righty, lefty. So the Rockies are trying to go all in here in the morning and trying to just prepare to basically knock around Abbott.
Yeah, that preseason play of mine on the team wins over, was it 50 something? Looking kind of good right now.
Looks amazing.
I tend to agree with you. Nothing in Abbott's profile really shows that he should be reliable like he was last year. There's a lot of issues on both of these pitchers. I would actually have to lean on a first 3 over, not an official play for me, but if I was looking to play that game, that's what I would look. Neither pitcher does particularly well in the first inning. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I'm actually going to be coming back to this game later for our home run props. But just for reference, Abbott in the first time around the order, opponents are batting 380 with an OPS of over 1,000. Not good stats here, boys. Not good stats at all.
Yeah, definitely. And something I'll say about Terry Francona and the Reds. The Reds do have a pretty good bullpen overall. Like it's I believe I believe they're in the top 10. But another thing with Terry Francona is he's not, even though he's an older manager, I think he's one of the best managers that we've seen. He's taken small market teams and made them great, like the Cleveland Indians at that time. And he's not afraid to pull his starting pitchers, regardless of how a bullpen is. He likes to protect his pitchers. So if you see Abbott, him struggling and stuff, like we saw him only go 3 innings, I think a couple starts ago, and he only had like 60-something pitches, only gave up, I think it was like 4 runs or something. So they won't be afraid to take him out. And the Rockies are one of the best teams at hitting. I believe like the first pitch, the way this can go tailing, because there's always devil's advocate, is that the Rockies do hit the first pitch and it goes to fielders. But the Rockies offense has been very hot. They haven't been striking out as much as we're used to. And they're starting to click hitting wise, and they are doing more patient at bats. When they don't get a first pitch they like, they are really good at extending that bat. So yeah.
You know what? I'm actually going to put a play because the line had dropped. Previously, it was at minus 135, which was unacceptable to me. But I'm seeing the first 3 over 2.5 at minus 125 over in MG. I'm actually going to make that an official half a unit play. I think that there's value on the line there. I was just like, just for kicks. Checked it last night, but maybe the line dropped somehow. But yeah, let's make that an official play. How do you like that one?
Oh, I like that a lot. I think the overhit. Yeah, I know some people may think, oh, it's 54 degrees, but the humidity and how good of a hitting the ballpark is, and also it's as close to Coors as you can get. And of course, the Rockies are playing, and the 8 miles per hour wind. I don't buy like the 54 degrees to really affect it when it gets humid in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Yeah. Wind's blowing out. It is top 5 home run ballparks in all of the league. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun game to watch. All right. What's your next play, bro?
Yeah, it's a holiday, guys. It's they're because the last couple starts for this guy, they decided to start a reliever, but they're actually starting him now, Miles McCollum. The reason why they did the reliever role with him initially because he gave up 11 runs against the Dodgers, and then before that, I think he gave up like 8 runs. And so then they're like, okay, we're going to give you another chance, right? So I know this is risky to do this, right? Because one of the reasons they signed Mikolas was to be an inning eater, but he's proven he can't really do that. I think Kay Cavalli yesterday did really well for them. He went like 6 innings or so. The bullpen isn't bad. They just literally won a game. I think it was like 14-2. 14-2. So something I will say with this game, I like is under 14.5 at plus 105. I know it's kind of scary to do 14.5, but if my instincts are right and based off what I've seen, reason why they put a reliever for him in the first inning is they don't like him facing the same batters 3 times around the order, because even if you look at the last 2 games that he pitched out of the bulk reliever role, he's only pitched 60, I think it was like 60 pitches and like 55 pitches. And he hasn't really gone to 70. So I wouldn't be surprised here because I think he'll get knocked around. Is a great way for the Mets offense to get up because his velocity has dropped around at 91 miles per hour. And I think the Nationals won't be afraid to pull him personally after the 4th inning because they don't want him to face the 3rd round order because they have a chance. I believe, from what I've seen, I think they have a chance to win this series. So I think they're going to want to do that, especially for a Nationals young team that they just want to see winning at the end of the day, and so does their brand. So I like his under 14.5.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I also don't mind. I think I saw Matty Ice put this out. The Mets first 5 money line parlayed with the full game money line. I think you can get that at like minus 120 over on Caesars. I thought that was a pretty interesting look as well. Freddie Peralta on the other side of the mound in that one. But yeah, I'm going to fade Miles Mikolas in any which way, shape, or form that I can, especially when they're giving him another chance and he hasn't proven himself yet. There's just no reason to trust Miles Mikolas in any which way, shape, or form. All right. Any other place for us before I dive into Paul Skeen's day?
Yeah, definitely. And of course, you're going to go there. Something I will say is not necessarily plays, but hey, I know we had 2 games canceled yesterday, but we were supposed to only have 9 games today. But now we have 11 games because of the double headers. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to I think we're gonna have Logan Webb versus Sanchez, and then I know the sports books will show Logan Webb versus Painter. Logan Webb is not pitching twice, guys. That's literally impossible. As much of a workhorse he is, I believe it'll probably be. I think it'll be Landon Roop. I believe after him or Robbie Rays. So that's going to be fun to look forward to. And another game that I'm another game that I'm going to want to watch in general is the Diamondbacks for Brewers. Yesterday's game was pretty fun to watch. But that's what I was going to clarify and say.
Yeah, those games have been wild and a lot of fun to watch. All right, let's get into Paul Skeen's day today. Now, I know that the juice is going to be a little bit extreme for some of you, but just remember this is a first inning only play where the majority of the time it ends in a 0-0 score, which would end up in a push. I do not want to buy the half a run in the first inning. That's not something that I like to do. I'm betting on no offense or just the Pirates side of things, but when I'm looking at Paul Skeens, I see an elite pitcher. He just had like a no-hitter bid going into like the 7th last time out. And he's facing the Cardinals, who on the road only score in the first inning 26.5% of the time, compared to the Pirates, who score at home 37.5% of the time. Significant edge on the home team in the Pirates. And then we're going to get Hunter Dobbins, who is pitching for St. Louis, and he's returning from an ACL tear back in 2025, his rookie year in Boston. And he finished the year before that, I guess, 4.13 ERA, 3.93 xERA, low whiff rate, 22%, 17.5% strikeout numbers. The only decent metric that I really was able to kind of get around why he would be a decent pitcher was his 48.5% ground ball rate. So he might do all right in the long run, but coming back in his first start in over almost a year, really, against someone of Skeen's caliber, give me the minus 180 in the first inning. I really think that this is a value line. It's essentially a free square if you want to parlay it with anything. Most likely it's going to end in a push, but enough of the time the Pirates score in the first inning near 40% where I think that there's worth this price. If you wanted to go to a first 3 money line, which was priced at minus 220 or worse last night, I don't mind parlaying that with something, or even the first 5 money line. But I'm just going to take what I know. First inning money line minus 180. Drew, comment?
It's Paul Skeens. I don't think a comment is needed. Because I know something I will say, he has been doing great since the Mets disaster. When it came to that, because if you look at his last, I think he's had 5 or 6 starts since then. Has only given up 3 runs overall. And then last game he pitched 7 innings. The game before that he only pitched 4 because there was a rain out and he was dominating then. So that's always unfortunate when that happens. But Skeens has been Skeens. Of course, we know the first game was an outlier, and he has been basically destroying everyone in his sight.
Yep. With a vengeance, we should add. Also, something to note, he was my preseason Cy Young Award winner. So good to see that he's going back into form. My second play here is going to go to the Blue Jays Twins, which I was excited that, or intrigued that a lot of people seem to be picking this game on the under, but so am I. First 3 innings, under 2.5, minus 125. Thought this was a fair price for 2 pitchers who start very strong. Kevin Gausman, he's on the mound for Toronto. Opponents are hitting .98 with an OPS of 285 first time around the order. While Twins starter Bailey Ober so far this year, opponents are batting just 125 with an OPS of 389. Those are excellent numbers. Neither of them are giving up very much runs in the first 3 innings. Both pitchers last year also pitched significantly better first time around. I also like where each pitcher is. compared to last year and compared to where I think that they could be. They're in good grooves. Gausman has a 27.5% strikeout rate to a 4.3% walk rate, showing very good control. He has decent contact and hard hit percentages and overall good expected stats. Ober, on the other side, slightly lower K rate, 20.3%, and an 8.6 barrel rate, but nothing crazy. And his hard hit rate is fantastic at 31.2%. Expected stats are also great. And when I'm looking at the offensive capabilities of these two teams, I have no faith in the Blue Jays early on. They're ranked 27th in scoring in the first 4 innings. Twins, by far the more dangerous team, but Gausman, who is a righty, I think should take care of them in the first 3. Anyway, Blue Jays, Twins, first 3 under 2.5 minus 125. Drew, comments?
Yeah, I like that a lot. I believe these two teams like played each other with, I think, a similar matchup. They've faced both these pitchers at Rogers Center. I think it was a couple weeks ago. And one of these things, like what you said, especially with the Twins. Twins offense has been really good at the end of the day, but Gossman is Gossman, and both these pitchers, when they struggle, it's usually in the 4th or 5th inning. So I like
Yep.
this a lot.
Something to note in this game, if the Blue Jays go down early, I'm going to bet them on the first 5 money line, first 7 money line, and on the full game money line. I like the Blue Jays here as a look. I just thought that the price wasn't worth it, but something that I definitely lean into. The other live look today that I want to look at is starting in a half an hour, 15, 20 minutes from now. And that's going to be the Tigers live money line. If Framber Valdez struggles to begin the game, which he typically actually does this year, opponents are batting over 300 in the first time around the order, and then significantly worse, meaning he pitches significantly better second and third time around when he settles down. Bryce Elder, on the other hand, starts games strong and then slowly struggles the second and third time around. So if you get a chance, or if I get a chance to bet the Tigers live, that's something that I'm going to look at as well. My last lean of the day is going to be with the Phillies with Sanchez over Webb. I'm sorry, Drew, but Webb has looked very shaky as of late. I definitely think that he is a premium pitcher in the league, but he is no longer tier 1, probably teetering on tier 2, tier 3 at this point in my eyes. He could definitely bring it, especially in a rivalry with the Phillies, but I'm just not confident with him. And I do lean Phillies. We're getting a better price today than we did yesterday. I got a price at minus 134 as opposed to minus 140. Not an official play, but if I find a better line, I'm going to make it official for sure. All right, Drew, any other games that we want to get to before heading into playoff talk?
Yeah, no other plays. But something I will say though, I would my opinion, because like I knew the Phillies would be his last time. I actually lean kind of Webb here because Webb historically does like great against usually the Phillies, and I think one of the reasons why you see his ERA so high is because he had that start against the Yankees where he didn't necessarily do so great, and then the Orioles as well. Overall, he's looked pretty solid recently, consistently going 6 or 7 innings, going to 3 or less runs. I know Christopher Sanchez he's been better. He's looked a little shaky as well, but Sanchez is the better pitcher as of right now. But I just trust Logan Webb here more, in my personal opinion. Especially, he's had a lot of success in the past against the Phillies. So yeah.
Yeah, I do lean under in the first 3 there too. I was just a little bit scared to put my money on it. Both pitchers have near 60% ground ball rates, which definitely helps no matter what the weather is. Prince, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I have a baseball play too. If you guys are finished with yours, I'll go ahead and get into mine.
Yeah, where are we going?
All right, yeah. So I got a 3-pick parlay again for you guys today. We're going for team totals again. First one I'm looking at here is the Rockies and the Reds. Of course, we do have day baseball, guys. These games are taking place here pretty shortly, so we'll try to get through this show as quick as we can, so we can maybe try to get this published so that our listeners can have a chance to get these plays in, not just the live listeners. But in any case, here I'm looking at Rockies Reds. I think we're expecting a high scoring total on this one. I think the Rockies should contribute to that. Give me the Rockies over 2.5. Looking at the Mets and Nationals, of course, Miles Mikolas, we're looking to fade him each and every time. I know the Mets have had their issues, but it's Miles Mikolas. So give me the Mets team total over 2.5. And then we'll parlay those two with the Baltimore Orioles team total over 2.5, taking on a poor Astros pitching staff here. Those 3 come in at minus 103. So again, Rockies, Mets, Orioles team total over 2.5, minus 103.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Definitely have the over in that Orioles game for sure. Rockies also for sure the over. I'm playing the first three over. Yeah, I like this play. It's a pretty solid looks all around. And now I get to fade Miles Mikolas, which I was sad that I couldn't do last night.
It's always a great thing. It's Paul Skeens Day and it's also Miles Mikolas Day. So 2 holidays in one.
Hey,
Yep.
it's just like when I used to fade Air Force for college basketball.
By the way, plus 114 over on MGM. Prince? Oh, did I
Yeah,
cut
that's
out?
all. No, you didn't. No, that's all I got for baseball. If we want to get into our home run place, unless you guys got anything else.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. Why don't you hit us off, Fritz? Pun intended.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So for me, guys, we're going to that same game with Miles Mikolas. I usually like to attack him for home run plays as well. We're going on a little bit of a long shot here, but I'm curious what the boys think. I'm gonna go with Bo Bichetti for the Mets to hit a home run at plus 710, taking on the Nationals. Again, the Nationals not a very good pitching staff to begin with, and anytime Miles Mikolas is on the mound, there's always a chance for someone going yard. So give me Bo Bichetti plus 710.
I don't hate that at all. He has a 48% hard hit rate, 4.1% barrel rate, which isn't good, but all that means is when he gets contact, not a lot, but when he gets contact, it gets hit hard. He currently does have the hardest hard hit rate on the Mets, so definitely a solid look there. Slugging percentage looks good. I'm with it. I'm gonna bet it.
Love it.
Drew, where are you going?
Yeah. I'm going to the Astros game. They're facing Chris Bassett. This guy is 5 for 14 with a home run against him. He's been pretty hot. Former Diamondback. Christian Walker. Christian Walker plus 440. I think with his success against Bassett, and Bassett's he's a veteran, but he is susceptible to the long ball. So I like Christian Walker at plus 440.
I was actually looking at that game too, but I ended up settling on actually fading Andrew Abbott, which is kind of what we talked about earlier. I don't love the price, but it's got to be worth it. I also used a boost on FanDuel to push this over 400, which made me feel comfortable. But plus 340, give me Hunter Goodman. I don't know if there's a hotter hitter really than him. He has a 16.4% barrel rate, 54.1% hard hit rate, going off somebody, Andrew Abbott, who has a little bit of trouble with hitters like him. His line drive rate is at 26.7%. With the wind blowing out to right, I think that this is a really solid spot for Goodman to hit one. Again, don't love the price of plus 340, but with a boost, you can get this at over plus 400 on FanDuel with their Dinger Thursdays. Usually it's Dinger Tuesdays, but what are you going to do? Drew or Prince, do you have any thoughts on that game?
Oh, I love that. I love Hunter Goodman here. He's going to be hunting for his fastball. No pun intended.
Oh,
Full pun intended.
boo.
No, but yeah, he's been a very hot. And Andrew Abbott, as we all know, his ground ball rate's a little higher this year, but he's overall not a ground ball pitcher. Hunter Goodman is amazing against fastballs, and that's where Abbott throws him most of the time. And like I said before, they're in a favorable ballpark, and he's a right-handed hitter. The left field, of course, that's where most home runs, I believe, get hit and the Great American Ballpark. So I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Sorry, he's hunting for him, and he's also a good man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, boo. All right. People are going to stop listening now. I'm just kidding. Keep them coming.
We love our dad jokes. Go ahead.
All right, let's what sport are we going into next? We're going into hockey.
Let's go to hockey. Yeah, let's do hockey. Yep.
All right, I am excited about our hockey slate. We've been nailing these parlays. I should say you've been nailing these parlays. I'm excited to see what you got. Also, I mean, can we just talk about a 0-0 score going into overtime, then the Flyers winning it 1-0? That was unbelievable game. And honestly, the Flyers were, I don't think they were necessarily the better team in that game. There was just some amazing shots. They had incredible shot suppression. Um, just pulled it out at the end. It was really impressive. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was looking at the Arsenal Atletico Madrid score there for a second. I didn't know. I'm like, wow, a hockey game 0-0. I've never seen that before. All the way through the third period. So I didn't watch it. I was locked in on the NBA playoffs and the CONCACAF Champions Cup last night. But I was score checking. I couldn't believe it. I literally had to keep refreshing. Like, there's got to be a goal somewhere. And there wasn't until the overtime. So shout out to the Flyers. They closed it out. But yeah. Very rare defensive, super defensive battle. Probably hockey purists probably love that one.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then we also had a really exciting game, Utah Vegas. That was a really another exciting overtime game. I'm really mad at myself that I didn't bet Montreal versus the Lightning. I had that game pegged. I just didn't. Just thought that the Lightning were too powerful and at home, which really kind of worried me. But either way, let's get into today's games. We got two games going off: Dallas, Minnesota, Edmonton, and Anaheim. And we'll get into my pick in a minute, but Dallas, Minnesota looks like a great under game with two great defenses. Edmonton, Anaheim looks like a great over game with two shaky defenses and great offenses. But Prince, what's your play? What's your angle? What are we looking at?
Yeah, those are the exact same angles that I'm looking at here. As I'm looking at an alt parlay here, we've been hitting those pretty regularly, so we'll see if we can continue the streak here. Looking at the Stars Wild, to your point, I think it's another defensive game. Most of the games have been so far in this series, and I can't expect anything else differently in this one. So we're going to alt line the total here between the Stars and the Wild. We're going to take them at under 7.5 goals. We're going to parlay that with the other game here, of course, the Ducks and Oilers. Probably the most entertaining series of this playoff so far. But I'm going to take the Ducks here at home in a closeout situation. I'll take them team total over 2.5 goals. I think anytime you got the Oilers on deck here, the opposing team has a more than great chance to score 3+ goals against a pretty poor Oilers defensive team here. So give me the Ducks at home, closeout situation to score 3+ goals. Parlayed with the Stars Wild under 7.5 goals. This parlay comes in at around -130.
Yeah, I'm very similar to what you're doing. I did Stars Wild under 7.5, just like you. But then I took the Oilers Ducks over 5.5 for -134. And it's really very similar to what you said. Great defense in Stars Wild. Wallstedt's elite goal saving above average. It has been incredible. And then I like regression in terms of pace of play. We've had a little bit of the over bug in this series so far, so I like that other side to kind of come through now. And as for the Oilers Ducks, I like both teams generating a lot of high danger opportunities with two goalies who have shown vulnerabilities. And I think the Ducks will come to play at home today. Yeah, that was a good little rhyme.
Well done. Yeah, to be honest with you, I initially had the Oilers Ducks all line at over 5.5, but I checked this morning, and when I parlayed those together, I got like around -155. So you got a way better price on that. So if I would have gotten your price, that's a great price. But as I checked this morning, it looked like that's gone up, and I didn't want to give out a -155 play on the show, so I just went with the Ducks at home. But I like that play a lot. That was my initial play actually.
So that is, I'm just gonna plug myself here. You gotta follow my Substacks. I have Substack articles. They come out every single night, detailing my plays for the next day, and usually get significant line movement. I'll publish them anywhere. I think last night I published at 8:30 p.m. my first play, and then I was continuing to update that all the way through 12:31 a.m. last night Eastern. All right, Drew. Any thoughts on the NHL playoffs?
Yes, I do. I'm going to
Where
go
we
straight
going?
to it. I have the Oilers money line at -130. I think the Ducks are figuring out how hard it is to close out a series. They haven't actually done it since 2017. And they did in 2017. I believe it was also against the Orioles as well. But last game showed me a lot of nerves from the Duck side, and they didn't know what to do once the Oilers scored 3 straight goals. This is a pedigree thing in my mind. You know, the Oilers at the end of the day, they're back-to-back runner-ups in the Stanley Cup, and I expect them to get the job done and eventually win the series. In 7, Connor McDavid looked like his old self the last game, I believe. And him and Drysdale, they're some of the most clutch players I've seen, of course, except when they play the Panthers. But there's overall some of the close players I see, and I think they have the two best players on the court, and I think they'll do everything they can to at least bring this to a game 7. And I think this is great value to me personally for what I think is the better team at the end of the day, facing elimination, and probably overall the more desperate team. So yeah.
I don't disagree with your analysis at all. I think that there is a lot of value on the minus 130 line here. On my model, it liked this play a lot. I just thought, I'm just going to root for goals, but I don't disagree with you at all. All right, let's get into the NBA playoffs. Prince, why don't you recap us what happened yesterday and where we're looking for today?
Yeah, so as far as yesterday goes, as I pull up the scoreboard here, yeah, so of course we had the Magic and the Pistons, right? Pistons fighting off elimination there. You kind of expected that would happen, but the Magic did cover. So that was one of the plays we had. We had Orlando plus 10.5. They only lost by 7. And quite frankly, I think the difference in that game was free throws. Orlando with 14 free throws. If they just hit at least half of those, you're talking about a game that's going into overtime. So as well as Detroit played, I mean, Orlando was still right there with them. And so it'll be interesting to see here game 6 as we look into that tomorrow, what the lines are. I think the lines may already be out already. I haven't taken a look yet, but I probably favor Orlando in that one at home. I don't think Detroit has done enough. I mean, it took 45 points from Cade Cunningham. Of course, it took 45 from Banchero as well, which, by the way, that was an awesome matchup to see those two number 1 picks go at it in a desperation situation. But yeah, I don't think Detroit's done enough to separate themselves. I mean, despite those scoring outputs, Orlando was able to keep it close in the closeout game. And I think at home in game 6, I would expect Orlando. I'll take them on a spread here if I get plus money with them, and then we'll see what the money line looks like. But we'll cover that tomorrow. But yeah, yesterday's game was interesting. Detroit did what they had to do. Looking at the Raptors Cavs, that one's the total sword over. I didn't know what to do with that game, and it looked like it was pretty much a back and forth game for most of the game. But Cavs, they pulled it out here at the end at home. And so game 6, again, that's a tough series for me. It could go either way, so we'll have to see what the lines are for that and what the value is. And then the big one, Rockets avoiding elimination. I told you guys, I said this before game 5 happened last night. I said the Lakers needed to win this game. They had to close it out at home. And now that they haven't, I think this is going 7. I don't see them winning in game 6. I think the Rockets smell blood in the water here. The Rockets came into this one as the better team in most people's opinions just to begin with. I think the Lakers were pretty fortunate to be going up 3-0 in that series, but the Rockets are clamping down defensively here. And this is the Rockets team that we expected to see all season. They've been playing excellent defense the last 2 games, and you're starting to see LeBron wear down a little bit here. His efficiency is not the same as it was before. They're asking him to do too much. Austin Reeves, first game back, coming off of a long injury, a long break from injury. You can't expect too much from him. I mean, he played okay, but they need Luka. They need Luka in this series, and without him, I think the Rockets are in a great position here to maybe be the first team ever to come back from 3-0 and win the series. So I love the Rockets here in Game 6, and they they did what they had to do last night, and now the Lakers are in complete trouble. All the pressure is on LA right now, and I could very well see this being one of those series that the Lakers choke away, and LeBron chokes.
Raggy. All right.
I
Where are we
actually
going
think
today? Oh,
I was
sorry.
going to say I think the Rockets end up losing the series. We saw this last year with them. I know it wasn't 3-0, but they were down 3-1 to the Warriors, and then went to Game 7, and then they absolutely choked in Game 7. So I'm still believing the Lakers here. I think if it goes Game 7, it's of course going to be at the Lakers, and then I trust LeBron in Game 7, who's never lost a Game 7 in his history of playing. So yeah.
So I will say one caveat. I see what you're saying. One caveat I'll say: LeBron came into last night 18-0 in closeout games at home, and now he's 18-1, and he's 41 years old.
Can we get a showdown?
Yes, let's do it. Showdown, series showdown. I'm on the Rockets. Let's go, Houston.
Oh no, I'm gonna be on the Lakers all the way. I don't trust Houston. I mean, if you just look at it's not just pedigree in general, but like, what have the Rockets really done like since James Harden? That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, does it make a difference that it is being played in Houston and Houston is favored in that game?
Well, that's game 6. Game 7 would be at the Lakers.
Oh, it's fair. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into today's picks here. We're gonna have the 76ers playing Boston. Now, I'm just gonna roll right into it. One of the most profitable betting angles in all of sports has been betting over the last 3 seasons, the Celtics coming off a loss. I don't have the stat in front of me right now, but it's something like an 85 win percentage straight up, not on the spread, just straight up. I also just don't trust the 76ers. If you've been listening to us for the last few months, I have consistently railed against them. Celtics, sure, they had a negative regression in their threes yesterday or the other day. I don't think it's going to happen again. Sooner or later, their threes are going to rain down, even on the road in Philadelphia. I know that Philadelphia fans got a little bit excited because they staved off elimination by one more game, and Embiid had an incredible game. I get that, but the Celtics are a better team, hands down. I don't think this is going to be close. I'm going to take the Celtics minus 5.5 at minus 114, half a unit on FanDuel. Prince, how do you feel about that? And am I making a mistake? Does Philly have a chance at home?
No, I'm sorry. What was your play, Most? I'm sorry. I got distracted for a second. What was your play?
Oh, it's all good. Celtics minus 5.5 and minus 114 over on FanDuel.
Yeah, I love that. I think the Celtics get it done tonight. Personally, I'm looking more at their team total. I think their team total right now is set at around like 109.5, which I'll be playing the over on that. That's not an official play, but that's just something that I'll be giving out over on TikTok. Again, PrinceOfPicks 10 over on TikTok. Yeah, you can follow me there. But yeah, I'm with you. I think the Celtics. I'm not a believer in this Sixers team either. The only thing with the Celtics, like I've talked about multiple times, is just their 3-point shot variance is going to be the difference as to whether they win or they don't. I don't think it's going to be a close game either. They're going to win by a lot or they're going to lose by a lot. It's going to be based on how many threes they make. But in any case, I think they should, or they definitely should, be able to close it out here in Philly in Game 6. So I like your play, and I also like the Celtics team total.
Yeah. All right. What's the Celtics 109.5? That's the play.
Yeah, 109.5. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'm in on that. Either way, unless the 76ers play incredible defense and slow the pace of play, they should be able to cash that, no problem. Anything else that you're looking for today? Knicks are playing at the Hawks, a little bit nervous. I think everybody's nervous in New York. And then, of course, Denver, Minnesota. Any place in those other 2 games?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to skip the Nuggets Wolves one. That's over on TikTok as well. But I will attack the Knicks and Hawks. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think the Knicks are a significantly better team than Atlanta. I think they've shown that in their 3 wins that they have in this series. Again, the 2 wins that Atlanta got, they were very fortunate to get. So I like the Knicks here. We're getting it at minus 2.5. I understand Atlanta's in a desperation mode and at home, right? Teams usually, a lot of times they overperform when they're in a desperation mode at home. But I just think the Knicks are significantly better than Atlanta. I think they're going to show that again. I expect them to close it out here. I love getting them at minus 2.5. That is going to be my official show play of the day. So I will lay the 2.5 with the Knicks at minus 115. I think they close it out, and they can cover the 2.5 point spread.
Okay, I'm betting it and I'm rooting for it. I just hope it comes through. I don't
trust the Hawks. I don't trust the Hawks. I don't really.
trust the Knicks.
Yeah, I know. Fair enough. Fair enough. They're the large enough sample size throughout the season to say that we don't trust the Knicks, but we're talking about this playoff series, and so far there are 3 wins that they've had. They have been convincingly the better team, and even in their 2 losses, they had leads in those games as well. So I just think in this particular matchup, I will trust the Knicks more so than the Hawks. But I get it if you're hesitant on the Knicks.
It's just emotional hedging is usually where I like to go, and I can't emotionally hedge it when I'm betting.
Yeah, I got you.
With them. If you guys don't know what emotional hedging is, it's when you you bet against the team that you're rooting for. So either way you lose or either way you win, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, the hardest thing for me to do was when the Packers owned the Bears for the last 10 years, and I had to keep betting the Packers to beat the Bears because I knew it was going to happen. Yeah, that's to your point there. It's hard to do.
Drew, gonna go to you. Any thoughts in the NBA tonight?
Yeah, so seems like the Sixers just, won't go away. They're past, but I like your point you made. One of the best things to do is back them up after a loss, even though it's at the Sixers. I like the Sixers here, so I'm going to tell what you did, and I'm also with Prince as well. You can't really trust the Hawks in general. I know as much as we can't trust the Knicks, but the Knicks, the wins the Knicks have in this series have been pretty convincing, and I trust Mike Brown and the players around him, such as Jalen Brunson and so on. I trust Mikal Bridges to get back to it and not decide to play weird
And
basketball.
by the way, not to interrupt you, Cat has been terrific. By the way, in this
Oh yeah,
series, and
Cat's been amazing.
he's been a difference maker.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mikal Bridges. I think he forgot how to play basketball for a second, but I think he'll get back to it.
Yeah, he'll get back. We gotta trust him to get back. He's too good to be MIA for too long.
It looks like he's playing backyard basketball out there with some of the turnovers he's had.
It's been embarrassing a little bit. It's not great. Anyway, all right. Coming up to the last 15 minutes of our show, we're going to head into the world of soccer real quick with our main man, Prince. If anybody wants to come up and talk and give a take or an opinion of anything, please feel free to request. We'll bring you on right after the next segment. Prince, kick us off. Literally.
So I got 2 official plays today, guys. We've got Europa League and Conference League in action over in Europe. Again, for those of you who are unfamiliar with those leagues, that's basically your secondary and your third major competition in Europe, right? The Champions League is number 1. So Europa League's number 2, Conference League's number 3. But in any case, here we're looking at the semifinals here for both tournaments. And games I'm looking at here, first one in the Europa League, I'm looking at Nottingham Forest taking on Aston Villa. I like both teams to score in this one. You're going to get that at minus 130. We're looking at the head-to-head here. Obviously, they're 2 very familiar EPL sides. 13 of the last 16 matchups have ended BTTS between these 2 sides. So I think with both sides, really, Aston Villa should be comfortably safe in the EPL for a Champions League spot. And then when we're looking at Nottingham Forest, they need probably just a few more points to confirm their safety in the EPL next season and avoid relegation. So I think both teams should be focused on this one. I don't expect to see too much rotation from either side. So I think we should see a good match here. I think both teams can get on the scoreboard. It's been a trend between these 2, so I will take it again here. BTTS between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. That one comes at minus 130. And then finally for me, we're going to go to the Conference League, where we have another match here. Both of these are 3 p.m. Eastern, by the way, guys. We're looking at Crystal Palace taking on Shakhtar Donetsk. I think this is a mismatch in talent. I think Crystal Palace, despite their struggles in the EPL, I think they're significantly better than Shakhtar Donetsk. And I like them to get goals here. I'm playing Crystal Palace team total over 1.5 goals at plus 129. And this is basically just more of a fade on Shakhtar Donetsk for me. And I'm backing Crystal Palace here. Crystal Palace, nothing to play for in the EPL. The rest of their matches are dead rubbers, is what they call them. Basically, they don't mean anything. Crystal Palace is pretty much on the beach in terms of the EPL. So the only thing they have left to play for is this Conference League, and I think they're going to go all out in this one. And I think whether they win or not, I'm not sure, but because they can concede at any point as well. But I like them to get 2+ goals here, so we're going to take them over 1.5 goals. Again, that's at plus 129.
Awesome. Looking forward to tailing. It's going to be a fun match.
Yep, for sure. And then that's all I got for soccer today, guys.
Alrighty. If anybody else wants to come up, you're more than welcome to request. We'll bring you in. Otherwise, let's recap our picks. Drew, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Let me pull it up. There we go. Andrew Abbott under 17.5 outs, minus 110. Miles McCollus under 14.5 outs, plus 105. Oilers money line, minus 130. And Sprinkle Christian Walker home run at plus 440.
Awesome. I'm going to go in the MLB. Pirates first inning money line minus 180. Blue Jays Twins first 3 under 2.5. In the NHL 2-leg parlay, Stars Wild under 7.5. Parlay with the Oilers Ducks over 5.5. And then the Celtics minus 5.5 at minus 114. And then of course my live looks. I linked the Tigers today. I linked the Blue Jays and I linked the Phillies. Non-official picks, but means Prince, hand it off to you.
Yes, sir. All right. So on the pitch again, we'll recap. We're taking Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, both teams to score around minus 130. Give me Crystal Palace taking on Shakhtar Donetsk. I like Palace here to score 2+ goals at plus 129. Over in hockey on the ice, give me the Stars Wild under 7.5. Plus the Ducks team total over 2.5 goals comes in around minus 130. On the ballparks tonight, give me or today, I should say, the Rockies team total over 2.5, Mets over 2.5, Orioles over 2.5. All those coming at minus 103. For a home run sprinkle, I'm going to go with Bo Bichetti for the Mets, plus 710 to go yard today against the Nationals. And then finally in the NBA tonight, we are going to be taking the New York Knicks on the spread here, minus 2.5 at minus 115. That's going to do it for us today, guys. This has been your Thursday edition of the OnlyBets Sports Podcast. For DrewDelucchi, SternBets, I am the Prince of Picks. Hey, come join us Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. We are live right here on X, Twitter Spaces. We're also looking for co-hosts. If you guys, anyone out there loves to talk about sports, loves to bet on sports, come join us. We'd love to take your opinions, your thoughts, your analysis, whatever you got for us. We're open here, and we'd love to hear what you got for us. So come join us. Again, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Follow us over on OnlyBets Podcast, the new official page of our podcast. We'll be posting new content there as well. And we'd be happy to have you. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Let's go ahead and cash out these tickets. We will be back Friday morning, same time, same place. And until then, we appreciate you all, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.